Osho reveals letting go brings peace, love, and everything you truly seek. Osho said something that most people will find hard to believe. Control is the root of your suffering. Think about it. You can't even control your heartbeat. So, why do you think you can control life? The more you grip, the more pain you create. But Osho reveals a surprising truth. The moment you let go, life starts taking care of you. And today, I'll show you how. The illusion of control. Think about your own life for a second. How often do you find yourself trying to control everything around you? You want people to behave the way you expect. You want circumstances to bend to your plans. You want the future to unfold exactly as you've imagined it. But has life ever followed your plan perfectly? Be honest. How many times did you map everything out perfectly only to watch reality take a completely different turn? And yet, we keep clinging tighter as if more control will somehow fix it. Osho warns us that this very illusion, the belief that we can control life, is the root of our suffering. Because life was never meant to follow our will. It already has its own rhythm, its own current. And here's the twist. If control doesn't bring us peace, what does? Osho's answer is simple and radical. Real peace, real joy, and even real success come not from holding tighter, but from letting go. Letting go puts you back in harmony with life. Osho often compared life to a river. A river flows naturally, effortlessly, finding its own path. But what happens when you try to swim against the current? You exhaust yourself, you choke, you panic, and sooner or later, you sink. This, Osho says, is exactly what we do with life. We fight reality. We resist what is, we try to bend it all to our will. And what does that resistance create? Pain, suffering, stress. But Osho's teaching says letting go doesn't mean you become passive or weak. In fact, it's the opposite. Letting go is the greatest strength you can have because it puts you back in harmony with the natural flow of existence. Imagine you stopped fighting the current and you allowed life to carry you instead of resisting it. Osho assures us that when we do, something beautiful happens. We discover that life already knows where it's going. And here's the surprise. Osho says letting go doesn't just help us when we're struggling. It becomes the secret strength behind our greatest transformations. And the proof is hidden in moments we've all experienced. Letting go is strength, not weakness. How many times in your life have you planned something perfectly, step by step, only for life to pull you down a completely different path? Maybe you wanted one career, but life nudged you towards another. Maybe you held on to a relationship that ended, only to later find someone better for you. Or maybe you failed at something, and later that very failure became the turning point of your growth. In those moments, when plans fall apart, it feels like life is betraying us. But as Osho points out, it's only later, when we look back, that we realize the truth. Life's path was better than the one we had planned. Osho insists this is not just coincidence, it's proof that there's a deeper wisdom guiding existence, a wisdom far greater than your individual mind. So when you let go, you're not surrendering to chaos. You're surrendering to this deeper wisdom. You're stepping into alignment with the intelligence of life itself. That's why Osho calls letting go the greatest power. It's not weakness, it's faith. And it's only in that surrender that miracles unfold. Letting go reveals true love. Osho often said that love is the area where most people misunderstand letting go the most. Think about how we usually approach love. We say things like, "You're mine, you can't leave me, you belong to me." But Osho points out that is not love. That's possession. And possession slowly suffocates love until it becomes a burden. He says, real love can only exist in freedom. True love says, you are free. Whether you stay or go, I will still love you. That's why Osho called freedom the very essence of love. And here's the paradox. The more tightly you hold on to someone, the more likely you are to lose them. But when you give freedom, love deepens naturally. Because it's no longer based on fear or control. It's based on choice. The great test of love is this. When you give someone complete freedom and they still choose to be with you, then you know it's real. That's the only kind of love that lasts. This is why Osho compared love to a mother's love, the purest love of all. A mother doesn't chain her child, she sets him free. And in that freedom, love grows. Letting go is maturity of the soul. Osho explained maturity with a simple metaphor. A child clings to toys, and when those toys are taken away, the child cries as if the world is ending. But as we grow, we realize the toy was never everything. In the same way, adults cling to relationships, money, reputation. We treat them like toys. And when life takes them away, we panic, we cry, we fight. But Osho says true maturity is realizing that these things are temporary. They're not the essence of life. They can come and go, and that's okay. And here's the magic. When we reach this maturity, letting go no longer feels like a loss. It feels like freedom. A lightness arises inside us. And that lightness, Osho says, is the very doorway to bright future. Because when you're weighed down by clinging, you can't fly. But the moment you let go, you become light. You rise higher, you feel a divine presence within you. And that presence is what we call liberation. Letting go unlocks creativity. Have you ever noticed that your best ideas don't come when you're trying to force them? They come in the shower, on a walk, or in a moment of stillness. Osho says that's no accident. A mind obsessed with control cannot create. Worry blocks inspiration. But when you let go, your energy stops fighting reality and becomes available for creation. This is why artists, musicians, poets, and inventors throughout history have said their greatest works came about when they let go of their grip and allowed the flow of existence to wash over them. It was as if life itself was flowing through their hands. Osho explains, that's the power of surrender. When you step out of the way, existence works through you, and what you could never achieve by effort alone, life creates effortlessly. So letting go isn't just about peace or acceptance, it's the key to unlocking your creative potential. The letting go, time, and impermanence. Osho reminds us, you cannot catch time. We want the good moments to last forever, and we want the bad moments to disappear instantly. But time doesn't move according to our will. It moves by its own rules. And here's the paradox, when we try to hold on to moments, we suffer. But when we let go, something shifts. We start to enjoy every moment for what it is. Even the painful ones carry a hidden beauty because we know they too will pass. Osho says this is what makes life precious, impermanence. If everything were permanent, life would become dull. But because things change, every experience becomes unique, every moment becomes precious, every breath a celebration. And when you let go of the need to control time, gratitude naturally arises. You begin to see how much you already have in this very moment. Your body, your breath, this sky, this earth. Letting go is the doorway to gratitude. When you cling, you always want more. You're never satisfied. But the moment you let go, Osho says, you suddenly realize how much you already have. This realization is gratitude. And gratitude, according to Osho, enriches your whole being. It makes you lighter. It fills you with joy. And paradoxically, when you are grateful, life gives you even more. But here's Osho's most important reminder. The real treasure of life is not outside. External things change constantly. If you depend on them, you will always feel insecure. Your true wealth lies within, inner peace, inner love, inner silence. These never change. They're permanent. But you only discover them when you let go of external attachments. Health and tension. Think for a moment about stress. How often do you lie awake at night worrying about outcomes you can't control? How many times has anxiety tightened your chest or tension knotted your muscles? Osho points out that clinging creates this very tension in the body. We cling to relationships, wealth, prestige, and our bodies tighten as if trying to hold everything together. Over time, this clinging becomes disease, high blood pressure, heart problems, insomnia, constant restlessness. But when you let go, the body relaxes, the stiffness softens, the mind calms down, and health begins to return on its own. Osho said letting go is medicine, not from the outside but from the inside. Because when you release the inner grip, your whole being comes back into balance. Release the inner grip, and your whole system rebalances physically, emotionally, spiritually. Fear, security, and the illusion of control. Osho says, at the root of all clinging is fear. We cling to relationships because we fear being alone. We cling to wealth because we fear future insecurity. We cling to prestige because we fear losing our image. But the more you cling, the more fearful you become. And the one who learns to let go becomes fearless. Why? Because they have discovered that true security is not in wealth or relationships, it's within. When there is peace inside, no external insecurity can shake you. That's the freedom Osho points to. Not freedom from life, but freedom within life. And this freedom doesn't just free us from fear, it frees us from the illusion that we are incomplete. Freedom, wholeness, completion. Osho often said the greatest illusion is believing we are incomplete, and that we need to hold on to things or people to make ourselves complete. But letting go reveals the opposite. We were already complete. It was the very act of clinging that made us feel incomplete. And here's the beauty. When the grasp falls away, the sense of incompleteness falls with it. For the first time, you experience yourself as whole, as perfect, as already enough. This is liberation. Not in the future, not in some heaven, but here and now. The essence of letting go. Osho condensed his entire teaching on this subject into a single sentence. Let go and everything will be fine. It sounds almost too simple, but when you look deeply, you realize it's not advice, it's a law of life. Existence is already balanced. Life already knows what it's doing. It doesn't need your tight grip to function. It doesn't need your control to flow. So, remember, letting go is not escape, it's understanding, it's freedom. The more you hold on, the heavier life feels. The more you let go, the more life takes care of you. This is the secret Osho invites us to experience. Letting go is not loss, it's the rediscovery of life's natural perfection. Take a second and reflect. What's one thing in your life right now that you've been clinging to? A relationship? An expectation? A fear about the future? Share it in the comments. If this helped, tap like so others can find it. For more wisdom like this, make sure to subscribe.